I had a little trouble logging in myself. I almost hung up and started again. Good evening, everyone. This is Dr. Dees. Tell me, how is everybody's health doing? How anyone want to share any updates? Would love to hear them while we're all waiting for everyone to kind of log in.
I have a nice experience.
Sure, share.
This is Carla in Pennsylvania, and I received a pleasant email today, someone in my downline, and it reads, "Oh, I have other good news with Sunrider Vitamin D. I have always had a vitamin D deficiency. My numbers were always below normal. Last year it was 17.
Wow.
Normal is 30 to 100. I would be given a 6-week treatment of 10,000 units per week, prescription strength. I never have been able to get it up to the normal level. Well, I started Dr. Chan's Vitamin D 1,000 strength. I have taken a bottle and a half, and my latest results were 52.6.
What was the number? 32 or 62?
52.6.
Wow. She came up from a 17 to a 52?
Yep, with a bottle and a half, and then she continues, Dr. Chan's formula works. Testimonial.
Holy moly. Now that's a testimony. I love it. What a way to begin. I missed the part you got beeped on. Did she use the 1,000 or the 5,000?
She used the 5,000 strength.
Okay, I am so excited. That is such good news, everybody. And Carla, I'm absolutely going to cover it at the very beginning here, just so we can discuss one more time why this is different and necessary. But guys, thank you, Carla. Welcome everybody to our Tuesday night call. I'm Dr. Karen Spencer Dees, and I'm going to host everybody. For those of you that forget or are new, *6 will allow you to mute. And if you click *6 again, it'll allow you to unmute so you can come back on. A lot of you also have mute buttons on your phone, and you just have to click the mute button. This way, Matt can tape it for you. Thank you, Matt. And also, this way we don't get a lot of background noise. So when you listen to it again, if there's something in what we all talk about that's helpful, you'll be able to hear it more clearly, okay? So welcome, everybody. This is our weekly Sunrider call. This is our night where we talk product. And we really talk about how we're using and consuming and even sharing these foods and these products that we use from Sunrider International. My background is in the field of nutrition and in the field of biology. My doctorates are in the field of endocrine health or hormones for young women and for women, and also children's health. We have a lot of people on this call tonight that also have lots of experiences with men's health. I spent a lot of years minoring in family health, specializing in men's health also. So I think I can bring a little bit to the table on this, but we can always bring Mac on and he can talk for the men. I wanted to say that, like a lot of you, I have been using and consuming these foods for over 20 years. I used them while I was in college. I have now raised my children on these foods. I absolutely built a Sunrider business. I have a very large nutritional practice, and I have been on staff and professor for a long time at Stanford University. And then I was a full-fledged professor at Clayton College of Nutrition for a long time, where I wrote their courses and taught the classes. So guys, I have a little bit of background in the field of nutrition, and I just really want to say that, to me, Sunrider stands apart from all other supplement companies. They are a food company. They are not a vitamin company. And so no matter what we're talking about, guys, the important piece to remember is that everything is food grade. And everything is received by your body as food, whether it's in the form of a capsule or a powder, right? Or a liquid or a bar. It doesn't matter. The body is still receiving it in its whole food state, as if you picked the orange off the tree and ate the orange. This is whole food nutrition. It is run by Doctors Chen and their family. They have a family of amazing, well-educated children, some doctors that absolutely know the difference. And I really, really encourage you to learn this, the difference between what feeds the body and what a theory is. And Doctors Chen come from backgrounds of Western medicine, Eastern medicine, backgrounds of nutrition, backgrounds of pharmacology, backgrounds of pain management, neuroscience, all the different backgrounds necessary to understand how do you put herbs, vegetables, right, fruits, how do you put food together that nourishes the body versus just a theory that we can read in a book that says, if I eat that leafy green, here's the gain. I will get calcium, I'll get, right, chlorophyll. But what if my body doesn't like it or doesn't absorb it? What other ways are there? You need actual people that are specialists in this field, and that's what the Chens bring to the table. What they've done is they've created a company that not only knows the combination of which really solid fruits, vegetables, herbs, all the leafy greens you can dream of. What's the combination that I always like to say at the salad bar that feeds each one of your systems, whether it's your immune system or it's your digestive system? There are different ingredients that make a big difference in feeding those systems. And what's the combination? And then not only what's the combination, but how do you keep it alive, vital? How do you allow for the body to absorb it, digest it, utilize it, convert it to fuel that allows your body to do something pretty magnificent, which is really renew itself, repair itself, and regenerate itself to make new again. And the only way to do that is if your body is truly absorbing and digesting nutrition. And one of the amazing facts about Sunrider is they were able to do something called concentration. And that means that they found a way to take, we'll use the number 10, all right? 10 pounds of a raw ingredient. We'll use oranges as our example. Take 10 oranges, and the amazing part to this is squeeze all that juice in its natural whole food state onto one orange. And then you eat that one orange. We now have a superfood that has the nutrition of 10, but you only have to digest one. Every ingredient in every one of Sunrider's products, whether it's within their skincare, or it's a product that is a supplement, or even a product you use to clean your clothes, they've all been concentrated. So a little bit goes a long way. And that's why a lot of times you'll see, and I'm going to cover vitamin D right away, but you'll see that a little bit makes a big difference because it's concentrated. So we've got the right people who have the right education and truly the right understanding of how foods work. And then we have them in a concentrated form so we can digest them and absorb them and convert them to fuel and recovery and get the benefit we call regeneration. And then we have it in the right variety. So it's not just one magical food nourishes the whole body, right? It's different foods put together, repair and renew and regenerate different systems of your body. And Sunrider has done this all for you. So what I like to do on our Tuesday night is, one, remind you of this, how really astounding this is, and why so many of us really have found that the recovery we feel, the repair we feel, the energy we feel, and of course the regeneration we feel from these Sunrider foods is magnificent, and it's why we like to share them so much. And also, let's talk about some of these foods that have these, what I like to say, magical, right, qualities. And the truth is, your body really is the magic. We just had to get the right foods in there, and we had to get enough of them in a concentrated form, keep them in their whole food state, and then, of course, make sure that you could digest them. That is not an easy feat. So I think we need to thank Sunrider and Dr. Jen for this, that all of us have a much more, I'm going to say, beautiful future because of this, and so do our children. So one of what Carla was talking about was one product that came out during this year. And Sunrider made a decision that I was very grateful for. And they put on the market a vitamin D3. Mac, I'll give you a title in a minute, but not yet. A vitamin D3. And a lot of times we see D3 everywhere. We see it at the supermarket. We see it at the pharmacies. We see it at Costco. We see it everywhere. And everyone has this assumption that they were all the same. Well, they're not. How you get your D3 is uniquely different. And that big question, will and can the body absorb it? One of the reasons, and I'm just sharing this little bit of education with you guys, one of the most important factors we know about D3 is that D3 allows for your body to actually absorb your calcium. And without D3, your calcium is not absorbing the same way that you would think. And so without the correct amount of D3 in your body, your bones are more porous. Your enamel on your teeth is not as good. Believe it or not, your immune system is not as strong. You tend to have more inflammation. You tend to be more depressed. There's all sorts of pros to D3. D3 this year was really researched in the benefits it had when we were going through, right, and as we still go through this COVID virus, and the benefit of boosting the immune system and keeping the immune system strong. And again, the question was, how much D3 does everyone need? And what I thought was even more important, in what form? Sunrider did is they came out with two. One was 1,000 units and one was 5,000 units. And Dr. Ruben Chen did a wonderful, and we'll post it, I'll post it, a wonderful little YouTube on the importance of D3 and why the 5,000 for an adult mattered, especially this year. And so the research shows that D3 boosts the immune system and keeps it strong and resilient. But from my background, guys, I want you to understand that I look at bone density reports all the time. And I look at blood work all the time. And I'm always amazed when someone thinks because their calcium is normal, that their bone density is normal, until we look at their D3. And we realize, like Carla was saying, oh my gosh, their numbers are so low. And one way we get vitamin D3, we know this, is from sunshine. For a lot of us, we're not outside much this year, although we're making up for it. But it's about a half hour, guys, of pure sunshine on your skin every day that allows for you to absorb D3. That's important for everybody. The other is in your diet. One way is a lot of leafy greens. You see, for a lot of you who drink organic or you drink alternative milks, you'll see them say fortified with D. But it's not so easy to get D3 in your body. One way is through sunflower seeds, safflower and sunflower, and their oils. And so I'm going to just read to you for a second what Sunrider did with their D3 and why I totally agree with what this lovely woman who had a number of a 17 that brought it up to a 52. And I've seen, Carla, those when people are getting 50,000 units weekly to get their numbers up, and their numbers aren't coming up because they're not absorbing it. Sunrider writes, and I'm right on their vitamin D3 page on the website, and it says Sunrider's vitamin D3 is fortified with antioxidant powerhouse vitamin E plus safflower oil, which is what I said to you, which is rich in protective polyphenols and healthy fatty acids that enhance vitamin D absorption. That's the key right there. What's the origin of the D? And how can the body absorb it? What Sunrider did is they fortified the D3 with the powerhouse E and safflower oil. And what this allowed was for you to absorb it. That's brilliant. It states the benefits include aiding, as I shared with you, aiding calcium absorption for strong bones and teeth, and supporting the healthy function of the immune system, right? And also the nervous system. Sometimes when our D3 is low, even if we're healthy, here are some of the things I want you to look for. I feel depressed and I can't lift myself out of it. Or my child is just so low and can't lift themselves out. I am eating right, but I'm breaking, right? I'm spraining my ankles all the time. I'm having mini fractures, or I had my bone density done. And I don't understand. It's not so great. And I eat and I use calcium. I want you to look at my central nervous system. For a lot of you, you notice the benefit of D in your nerves. You will tell me that you have either neuropathy from things like shingles or old injuries, where you get sharp shooting, right? Pain or the burning. Anyone who's ever had shingles knows what this feels like. Or you're constantly feeling on edge. D3 relaxes, calms, and nourishes the central nervous system. It's a critical component, and unless you've had your D3 run and read in your labs, you don't know what it is. Regardless, here's what I want to share with you. Just because your D3 was healthy 3 years ago when you had your blood work done does not mean that's where it is today. See, the funny part with D3s, you have to constantly replace it. Constantly. Kind of like being dehydrated, and that's going to be my example for you. We've talked about it. When you're dehydrated, you know you're thirsty. But we know when you get to thirst, you're past dehydration. It's the same with vitamin D3. When you are feeling so low that you can't get up, or you're noticing your bones are more porous, you're cracking all the time, you're popping all the time, right? Maybe you're in the house a lot. Maybe you live in an area where there's not so much sunshine. Whatever it is, guys, hear me. Everybody benefits from D3. Everybody. And it makes the calcium more efficient. But the reason it's different was how Sunrider put it together. It was they added the vitamin E, or they fortified it with the E, and it was the whole safflower oil, okay, which is the healthy fatty acids, and it enhanced the absorption factor. That's why this works. So every D is not the same. And just because you can get a big bottle at Costco for $6 does not mean it's going to work. So what I would challenge everyone to do after this year anyway, everybody needs to be on D3, literally everybody. I found that this year, some of you were not stressed. So I support that, and I applaud you. But a lot of us were. And I honor everyone who was stressed this year. We need D3 to balance our nerve fibers again. The kids, 1,000. The adults, 5,000 every day. Every day. If your child is, let's say, under 100 pounds, and their number is low, or you think it's low, use the 1,000 twice. Do 2,000. But for every adult, 5,000 once a day, every day, and you will notice you feel dramatically better. And again, sometimes, I always like to remind you of this, sometimes we need Sunrider to act like that raincoat to protect us from the rain immediately. And sometimes we need to feed our bodies with our Sunrider with the understanding that the regeneration is happening, and 5 years down the road, my health is going to be spectacular, right? And I am correcting all sorts of imbalances I may never see, or I don't have to get all the genetic conditions. But sometimes we need to remember regeneration can act like a raincoat for us immediately, or it can act like the sunshine and warm us up and help us further our lives. But we need both. So thank you, Carla, because I am really passionate about everybody getting D3 in. And Sunrider was very passionate, and I applaud them for how they did this. So one more time, I want to remind you, okay, this is from Sunrider versus from me. Supports strong bones and teeth, supports calcium absorption, helps you maintain healthy levels of phosphorus, very important, supports healthy immune and nervous system functions, may help improve your mood, and it replicates the benefit of D3 derived from the sunshine. This is a spectacular product, and I want you all to listen to me. Do not take this one lightly. If you look at Sunrider's ingredients directly, and I mean directly on their website, it says safflower oil, vitamin D, and fractionated coconut oil. That's where this came from. Take 1 capsule at breakfast. This was not synthetically made in the factory. This is food. And it can do miraculous things in your body. So I hope that helped and made a little sense. And again, I'm so excited to hear the testimony that someone actually who had a number of about 17 went up to a 52, because let me tell you guys, that's not easy. If the body's not absorbing it, the numbers do not go up like that. When the body absorbs it, you can have a dramatic improvement. Okay? Good. Now, I want to share a couple of items from all of your emails. And this really has to do with all of us keeping our homes, our bodies, and helping for a lot of us take ourselves from spring to summer. And there is a terminology that I like to use, and that is we all want to live in the fresh air. We all want to breathe the fresh air. We all want ourselves to have fresh air. Part of having fresh air in your cells means that we have to make sure that the foods we're consuming, the way we're washing our bodies, the way we're washing our clothes, are not impeding or clogging up our pores in our cells to where that fresh air cannot come in. And fresh air not only comes through the cells externally, but I want you to think about it oxygenating your brain, oxygenating your blood. This is how all of us need to really think as we go forward in improving. And this is true, improving not just the quality of our life this year, but for a lot of you, taking your life from being inside and wearing a mask, and for some of you at this point, being able to go outside and having more freedom to be outside, but also, guys, not just being outside, but stress. Okay? And so everybody experienced, as I said, this year differently. Either way, I'm pretty clear everybody had some version of stress or some version of, I'd like to be outside more than I am. And except I'm always going to say Margie, who was outside all the time, and I just kind of trolled her on Facebook so I could be outside with her. So I want to just share, there were 4 products that you all asked about, and I really want to revisit these, okay? So the first one, guys, has to do similar to vitamin D3, and that has to do with our fruit and vegetable rinse. Now, there's a reason I'm bringing this up. You will see as spring moves into summer, everybody across the country will have an opportunity for wonderful produce. Wonderful produce. And you have the opportunity, right, to what Dr. Smith used to say, bank your nutrition, which means we're going to eat better in these months than we do most of the year because the quality of the food will be at its peak. The big question that I always share with everybody is, who's touched it before you? How was it grown? How was it picked? What kind of hygiene, bacteria, right, viruses did it come in contact with? And how do we allow for this amazing food that we're about to eat and feed our families not actually cause us harm? And some of you have written, actually there were 9 of you this week that really were adamant that you had allergies to certain fruits and vegetables. And my challenge to 9 of you this week was to use the fruit and vegetable rinse more than you had. And to let me know if your lips were still itchy, if your throat was still itchy, if you were still feeling that you were breaking out in hives, if your scalp was still itchy. One of you had a baby, you were sure that the food was causing an allergic reaction on her skin and scalp. And all 9 who used this fruit and vegetable rinse this week all responded with, oh my gosh, how did I not know this before? It wasn't the fruit or vegetable. It wasn't clean enough. And there was a reaction to whether it was an environmental toxin, poor hygiene on it. And I learned this week that more than I would like to have believed, we're not really using the Sunrider fruit and vegetable rinse and not enough of it. There was still a belief that water, because I asked this question, actually just rinsing the fruits and vegetables was sufficient, or rinsing the fruits and vegetables with a little soap, or just air drying the fruits and vegetables, just taking a paper towel and just wiping what looked like dirt. And I think this week, 9 of you took it much more serious when you saw the reactions were different. Now, it doesn't mean there are not people with allergies, but I want to remind everybody that what looks like an allergy can very easily be misinterpreted as from a reaction just from pesticides, environmental toxins, somebody touched it that had poor hygiene, and you are reacting. That's all. So one thing I want to share is all of these 9 people, and for all of you on this call tonight, need to remember, like the D3, Sunrider invented the Sunsmile fruit and vegetable rinse deliberately from corn and coconut, whole foods, to actually clean mold, mold, mildew, staph infection, bacterial infection, strep, from anything on any of these herbs and any of the machines. This was not a flippant thought that just kind of happened. This was deliberate. And for us to think that this isn't as concentrated as all the products that we have, we're fooling ourselves. This is concentrated just like we talked about earlier. This is so different from everything else on the market. Everything else on the market is what we call a 1-to-1 ratio. It means it's really mostly water with a really good marketing plan and a good theory, but it doesn't do anything. And that's why you're still reactive. So Sunrider writes, And I think this is a really important time to begin using it for the first time, or to ask yourself, am I using it enough? Sunwriter writes, wash away dirt, pesticides. And I wanted to stop here for a minute. You don't see products telling you that just by using some fruit and vegetable rinse, you can actually get rid of pesticides. See, what Sunwriter does is their next comment is waxy coatings. They actually strip away that wax that's sprayed on your fruits and vegetables, and underneath that wax is where those pesticides are. So they get under that wax to the pesticide. So not only does it wash away dirt, waxy coatings, but also all the pesticides and any other contaminant. It's safe and it's natural. It's made from eco-friendly surfactants from corn and coconut. Our superior concentrated biodegradable rinse, right, thoroughly cleans fruits and vegetables in minutes, but you actually have to use it. The Sunwriter Fruit and Vegetable Rinse is safe for your family, it's safe for the environment, and you can, and this is, I find important, you can enjoy peace of mind, right? That what you're feeding your family is safe. And everything tastes better, it's cleaner, it's brighter. But I really want to just be honest with you. It only works if you actually put the fruits and vegetables in it. So a lot of you, as you shared honestly with me, actually have it in your home. You just aren't using it. So I want to challenge you this week to get it out, to actually take a capful, fill up your sink, pour that capful in your sink, put all your produce in it. Let it sit in there anywhere from a minute to 5 minutes, and then take it out and let it air dry. It's all your leafy greens, your grapes, all of your cruciferous, right? Your broccoli, your cauliflower. A lot of you love to put your potatoes in there, your eggs. But I want you to wash everything, whether it's organic or non-organic, whether it came from the farmer's market or it didn't, whether it came outside from your garden or it didn't. Because let me tell you, there is pollutants in the air, no matter how well you've taken care of your garden. And then the other thing I want to share with you is that when they talk about other contaminants, think about the obvious. And I mean the obvious, how common E. coli is. How many people get a stomach ache, or they think they have food poisoning, or they end up at the doctor's, the hospital, and they don't understand, how is it I got E. coli? And it's always the same thing. It came because somebody who harvested, picked, right, was putting your fruits and vegetables on the shelves, on the stands, had poor hygiene. And so for you to think that water takes that off is not true. So if you want to make sure everything is safe from things like E. coli, strep, staph, from the child, right, who rubs their nose and then touches it, this is important. And then you can assess whether or not you truly have an allergy. But 2 of the comments I got this week were wonderful. When one said, oh my gosh, my skin cleared up. I thought I had severe eczema. I didn't realize I have been reacting to some toxin. The other thing that Sunwriter writes that I think is also wonderful is they write under the ingredients that derived from corn, this versatile sulfate-free green surfactant is gentle on produce and non-irritating, yet tough enough for serious surface cleaning. So Sunwriter is using the fruit and vegetable rinse for cleaning. So I use this on everything from my cutting boards, especially, guys, if I am using chicken, right? I don't just use soap and water. I wash everything in fruit and vegetable rinse. I put a little bit on my sponge, or I soak them, or I put a little bit in my dishwasher. How many uses we have from this that we're not actually using? And I want to also remind you that Sunrider writes at the bottom, do I need to wash organic produce? And this is their answer, yes. Even if you buy organic fruits and vegetables, the handling, packaging, shipping, and in-store displays may introduce a variety of contaminants, as we just talked about. Likewise, even pre-washed produce like the bags of lettuce, right? When the carrots are already cut up or the celery stick is already cut up and we're taking shortcuts, even pre-washed produce might still have dirt, residue, bacteria, and chemicals on it. So, with that said, I wanted to really share this again with you so that it's not just on your counter as an afterthought, but kind of like the D3, oh my gosh, this is a life-changing product. And it truly is a life-changing product. And for one of you who just texted and said, oh my gosh, I eat bagged lettuce all the time. I just thought it said pre-washed. I didn't have to wash it. I think these are important little tips that make big differences. And under the how to use, right on their product fact sheet, it tells you 1 inner capful, right? You can put it in a bowl of water. You can I fill up my sink. Sunrider states for fruits and vegetables, you can dip them in for 1 minute, pat them dry, they're ready to go. But for those that have waxy coatings, right? Good 5 minutes. A good 5 minutes. All right? Anybody have any questions on this one? Okay. The next one that I want to bring to your attention again is the second one that a lot of you, in the same group of 9 of you, had reached out to me about, and it had, again, to do with being reactionary as we go forward. And this is the Sun Bright Bleach. And again, of the 9 that I challenged, none of them were using this. Another surprise. All of them said, I don't use it because I'm sure I'd react. I don't use any bleach. So they instantly predetermined that they could not use the Sunrider. And that was a very big aha moment as I instructed them to go buy it, and we would have a different conversation. And same thing, half of them emailed, said, oh my gosh, how did I miss the boat on this? Sunrider writes, breathe easy. Our natural bleach cleans without harsh, this is key, any harsh chemicals. Whiten and brighten your laundry, your upholstery, and any surface without stripping away color or irritating your skin, your eyes, and your lungs. It's highly concentrated, means you only need a small amount to get big results. It's non-toxic, it's eco-friendly, there's no chlorine in it, there's no phosphates in it, nothing will irritate you or your children. And nobody that bought it this week actually had a negative reaction. They had the reverse, which was like a life-changing moment. And again, as we go forward, I want you to remember that Sunrider has products that make your life easier, but also contribute to a benefit, because for anyone who's using even another version, and a few of them emailed and said they were using something from Whole Foods, a different version, I want you to look at the Sunrider Sun Bright product. Now, there are a couple of reasons that I love it, and one is I have always literally been taken to my knees from the smell of bleach from the time I was a child, and literally ended up in the ER myself many times. I could not breathe from being at a hotel where someone had cleaned it. And so what I learned is, and I took the same risk, which was, oh my gosh, I hope I can breathe with this. Not only could I breathe with it, I felt wonderful and was so excited that I could now use this with all my children. Sunrider writes that use the most appropriate laundering procedures, right? Just read your labels on your garments. But here's the thing, you can use the Sunbright Bleach on anything, any fabrics at all. You can also use it in the washing machine, but you can also use it by hand to rinse anything out in the sink. It's 1 scoop and it smells wonderful to a normal load, and 1.5 for me with all my kids still home for a heavy load. Sunrider writes, why do I need bleach? Which is what a lot of people had that was a question a lot asked. And their answer was bleach is a versatile household necessity that helps to keep laundry bright, whitens tiles, but this was the most important piece for me. It kills mold. And we live in an area that has a lot of trees and a lot of mold and a lot, especially when it rains. And I'm always looking to make sure, because I have worked with many people with mold allergies or have been breathed in too many mold spores. I know what this looks like. So it kills mold and it kills mildew in the showers, right, in the bathtub, anywhere around the house. And this was one that I thought was fascinating. I love this. And increases the life of a vase of flowers. I love that. I buy flowers. Those of you that do not know this, I buy myself flowers. My kids know this, especially during this year, every week. When I learned how to Instacart, I added bouquet of flowers every week the whole year. And I added a little scoop of the Sunrider Bleach and threw out the flower food. This cracked me up. And I thought, this is wonderful. If it can feed the flowers, it is non-toxic. Sunrider also asks, what's wrong with chlorine bleach? Well, chlorine is a naturally occurring element. Exposure can cause difficulty breathing, chest pains, coughing, eye irritation, and increased heartbeat. Bleach also harms the environment as it reacts with minerals and elements in water to form toxins called dioxins that linger in water and soil for years and can contribute to serious health problems like cancer. This is right on Sunrider's product fact sheet. If you understand the importance of keeping our environment clean, but you've heard the term dioxins and things we breathe in, right? That we cannot break down. You will stop using bleach. And you will now use the Sunbright bleach, which does not have any chlorine in it. The last thing anybody wants to do, right, is create serious health problems for anyone in their home. That revolutionized my home, my laundry, my flowers, but also my lungs. And I am going to challenge everybody this week. If you do not have this, order this. Order this. Just add it to your laundry. Yes.
Can that be used on dishes?
Yes. Yes. I use it on everything.
Sharon, I have a
Yes.
It's Nina.
Yes. Hi, sweetie.
I have a dishes and a washer that will not take the powder. I'm so bummed. So
Can you dilute it and put it in as liquid?
I haven't done that. Has anybody? You know, these new 18 front loaders. Has anyone tried that? You could say something. Come on, you
I have not tried it, but it seems like an obvious. Maybe that might be the answer.
Okay, I'll let you.
And I don't want you to harm your machine, but I can't imagine it would.
Well, as long as it's dissolved, you know, right?
But stir it, dissolve it, absolutely dissolve it,
Okay.
and then let us know.
I will. Thank you.
Then let us know. All right, the last one, guys, and you can hear I'm slightly passionate about how, right? Because we all are so committed to eating and using and consuming our supplements that we forget so many times how important it is not to contribute to our own ill health or our family's ill health, right? With how we're caring for our homes, how we're washing things, which is our first line of defense. Washing of the fruit and vegetables, washing of our homes, washing of our clothes, right? Because they're going to touch our skin and they're going to get immediately into the bloodstream. The last one that I want to cover, guys, and I know that for some of you, you're always saying this, where did that one come from? But I want you to understand that I took a little bit from a couple of different sections because these questions were all similar. I want to remind you how important it is not just how you wash your clothes and to take a look at not just the Sunrider bleach, but also, right, the Sunbright laundry detergent, the household cleaner. All of these will do similar things in terms of keeping your family and your home healthy. I want to remind you to look at the entire line of skincare. Because as I've shared with you before, what touches your skin goes directly into your bloodstream. And as we were just reading about dioxins, right, which can cause cancer, which would have come from bleach that would have been on somebody's sheets, right, from the clothes, from something you breathed in. It's the same, guys, with how you wash your body. And I picked one product because, again, I challenged the same group to this product. I learned one more time, not many are using the Sunrider shampoo and conditioner. Now, my kids love this, but I want you to hear something from Sunrider about the Sunrider Kandesn Shampoo specifically. And I think this is a really important one. Sunrider writes that it's paraben and sulfate free. These would be the ingredients that everybody who wants to be healthy and stay healthy looks for in products. Does it contain a paraben? Does it contain sulfate? And it states immediately, does not. And what Sunrider writes is that something as simple as get a head start on beautiful, right, voluminous hair with fresh smelling shampoo. So what we're really saying is that not only, right, is it going to clean, but it'll give you the volume you want. But here's the key, guys. It's botanical blend of nourishing and reparative extract. So this repairs and nourishes because it's going to go directly into your scalp. Not just wash your hair and go down the drain, but into your body. It nourishes and repairs and leaves the hair and scalp clean and refreshed. Burdock root, rosemary, cinnamon, peppermint will gently cleanse, but instantly invigorate the scalp, get the blood flowing. The jojoba and avocado oils will deeply moisturize. And what will it do? It'll prevent dryness, it'll prevent breakage, and it'll give that hair a natural shine and a natural radiance. Sunrider, I found this really important. Sunrider had a question under the facts and questions that are important because a lot of you are going to the store and buying shampoo. You're not utilizing it from Sunrider. And I want to remind you first and foremost that you're talking about a concentrated product, not a one-to-one ratio. You're also talking about a whole food product where these ingredients are in the whole food state. So not only are they cleaning and creating radiance and shine and nourishing, but they're regenerating the hair follicles, but the scalp. So anybody who's ever had psoriasis, who's ever had itchy scalp, right? Who's ever had any kind of reaction, this is your product. water is listed as the first ingredient. What is the importance in the formulation? And this was their answer. Water is crucial in formulating the base of a shampoo, acting as a suspension agent for our botanical extracts and other ingredients. It combines with the soap ingredient to form a lather. Without water, shampoo's consistency would be too thick, while hard or impure water can hinder the performance of shampoos. Deionized water enhances performance by increasing lathering, ease of spreading, and clean rinsing. I read that to you for one reason: to see to the degree that Sunrider is going to give you a superior product that works in ways that you cannot see. That will give you the recovery, the renewal, and the regeneration from head to toe. And so for today, I hope that what these few products that I've shared with you will encourage you not just to try the shampoo, the bleach, and the fruit and vegetable rinse, NRD3, but will encourage you to get on the website or into the catalog and look at all 4 lines, all of them, because if one of our products is the spectacular, so are all 400 plus. So when you look at the Kandesn Shampoo, don't stop there. Look at the conditioner. Look at the beauty bar. Look at and start to read the product fact sheets. You will have the same kind of list the rest of us do, which is a really long shopping list. And then you can get on and start to order. But my goal was to introduce you to a product from each line tonight, okay? So you could see the brilliance and how each one was made and how all of them not just protect you, but give you that renewal and a long life, that regeneration. Because by golly, I don't want any dioxins, right? And I don't want them for you in anything that you're using, breathing, right? Or swallowing. All right, questions, comments, thoughts?
So Karen?
Yeah, hi, Mark.
Hi, sweetie. I just want to say that a young gentleman in his early 20s started to use that shampoo, the Kandesn, and he was actually having issues with his hair falling out before he started to use it. And he thought he would just try to see how it might help. And it helped immensely from that point of view. Not only does he love how his hair feels, but his hair actually stopped falling out. So that was huge for him.
That's a huge testimony.
Yes.
And he's a barber.
So he knows it from a knowledge base, wow, and also a personal base.
Yes.
Wow. That's fantastic. Can I ask you guys a question? How long did it take before he noticed the difference?
Oh, it was pretty quick.
It really was.
Yeah.
He hadn't even finished, a whole bottle. I would say probably in a couple weeks, he started to notice the difference.
Love it. Get him on. We want to hear from him.
Yes.
Now, since I've got you, can you share what comes after this call? That would be really helpful. And I just want to thank everybody for participating tonight. I hope that all of you will get your D3, your Sunrider Bleach. Nina will tell us what happens with it in the dishwasher. You'll also begin looking and using some of the paraben-free skincare. And then, of course, the importance of our fruit and vegetable rinse, okay? So that we all can feel well, go into eating our fruits and vegetables with a sense of ease and safety. All right, Mar, share, please, what comes next. Thank you, honey.
You're welcome. So right after this call, we go right to Bob and Donna Dara's Zoom call, an amazing support group. You can find that information on their Facebook page, Rising Stars. And then following that call at 5 p.m. Pacific will be a Sunrider Win call. And they will be going over information regarding the Love, Share, Grow Rally, the Global Sunrider Day, launch of a brand new fun summer incentive, fun and some new ideas in growing our Sunrider businesses. So that's at 5 p.m. Pacific. And that information to get in, the links are all on Rising Stars.
Perfect. Does anyone need to know how to get to our Rising Stars page on Facebook, or does anyone need the phone numbers to dial in?
No, but I still have a question for you, Dr. Dees.
Absolutely, hon. Go for it, and that will be it. Thanks, Marlene.
The bleach, the sun bleach. I use it. I love it. But you said that you do it with your flowers.
Mm-hmm.
What about plants?
I put it in the water with the flowers all year, but I have not used it with my plants. But I look forward to you sharing with us how that works.
I don't know, but I'm going to try. I'm babysitting for a neighbor's plants, and all I'm doing is just giving them water, and they're not doing too well. And I do have the traditional foods that you would give a plant, but she did tell me if they die, they die. But this would be an interesting experiment.
You let us know, sweetie. You let us know. I did it with my fresh cut flowers in the vase, but I look forward to your answer. All right, everyone. Have a wonderful week. Good night.